Alright, Archero 2 and the Angler's Bounty, what should you be exchanging in the game? And I am a big fan of etched runes, given that this is one of the best spots to get them. I really think that should be your highest priority. Now, out of all 6 of them, there's really 4 main ones. Nobody's really using the sword one, at least what I'm seeing, and then the sprite one isn't really useful at all, at least when you compare it to the other 4. And where the Meteor is going to be mainly focused around the Dragoon set there, it really starts to shine when you go and get it to Legendary, which means you're going to require 8 copies of these etched runes at Epic. And having a weapon one at Legendary, that was no easy task. That was a lot of money spent on that to kind of get me the extra boost. So if you're not using the Dragoon set, this means we have the etched weapon, the etched orbs, and then finally the etched elemental. Now both the orbs and the elemental, I kind of switch back and forth between on those, but the weapon one is always the one that I keep on all the time. Even when I hit it Epic, this should be your main focus. This is going to give things like the tracking eye, the diagonal, the multi-shot, improve those chances of getting those skills. And given that I'm an Oracle set user, these are kind of skills that's a necessity for having that build. But even if you are a Dragoon or even a Griffin set, there's nothing wrong with having a little multi-shot or even some diagonal or some tracking eye in there. All of that stuff is going to help you. Now for the elemental one, this is one I tend to use a lot inside chapters. That's what my favorite thing is about this game. And this will go and give kind of those burning circles you see based by the elements that you have. They really don't do a ton for you, but the main reason why I like it is to help get those elemental skills. So like that enhanced freeze, and before we had the whole rolla, just finding freeze itself was going to be a game changer of using my Oracle set with the tracking eye. But of course, the circle one, there's no doubt that this is going to work great in things like the seal battle, the guild boss, or even in PvP, having those things spin around. And of course, if you are using an etched circle or even using the etched elemental, you want to make sure you're building your other normal runes around that etched rune. Now, if this is your first time getting an etched rune, I would say make the weapon your first one. Get that to Epic if you can get that. And if you do have enough to be able to get a second one, I wouldn't get another weapon. I'd at least make sure your second one's going to be one of the other 3. The Meteor, the Circle, or even the Elemental. Now, as much as I do like the Elemental for the chapters, the Circle ones work just as good. So in my opinion, if you're not a Dragoon user and going for that Meteor, I think the Circle one might be better, but that's just my personal preference. Like I said, I still use the Elemental all the time. And if you're thinking about what about that third etched rune slot, it's going to take you a very long time to get all these things at Legendary Plus 2. I've spent a good amount of money on this, and I think we only have 2 out of the 8 that we need, or 2 out of 10, I should say. And while we're talking about things that are going to take a long time, if you're going to try to get one of these things to Mythic, that's going to be 32 copies of these things, as far as I know. I haven't really seen anybody out there show the fusing on it, but just know it's going to take a long time. You probably won't be seeing it in this lifetime, so don't go and plan on chasing those Mythic stats. Now, if you're running swords, it's perfectly fine. I'm just saying not a lot of people are using those, so if it's working for you, that's a good thing. But like I said, we mainly see people using the weapon one with the orbs, and that seems to be a pretty good all-arounder. I did make guides on all these things when they first came out. However, the circle one did get changed, so you can see how these circles interact right now. And as far as that Meteor one, if you kind of want to see how that works, this is a video that Fist had posted on the actual Discord there, so you can kind of get an idea of what these things look like when they're bouncing around. But like I said, this is going to take a while with having 8 of these things needed to get one of them to Legendary, so this is a great opportunity to pick them up. But I guess let me know which one you guys would go for, and if you want to know everything about this event, take a look at this video right here. Thanks for watching, and remember, I pick my butt.